If you wish to succeed in any new endeavor, you must understand that the path illuminates as you walk it. And therefore, you should be prioritizing speed over strategy at the start. You see, far too many people want to sit around and strategize as to how they are going to achieve a certain goal or start a new business, go get their first client. The list goes on. How they're going to build out their workout regimen when they haven't even gone to the gym and lifted weights consistently in months or years even for some people. But they want to sit there and strategize. And to me, that is like sitting there and strategizing as to how you're going to win a chess game against your opponent when you don't even know the movement patterns of the different pieces. Like when you don't even know how the pieces move or the rules of the game. You have no plan, no knowledge, no expertise in playing the game of chess, and yet you're sitting there strategizing as to how you're going to win. Which is ludicrous. It's a waste of time. You should be looking to take action, to actually put into practice the thing that you're trying to do. And the clarity will come. The clarity will come because you will go out there and in the execution, you will learn what works and what doesn't. You will learn what's scalable and what is not. You will learn where your time and energy and focus is best spent. For instance, if you owned, let's say, a window cleaning business, and today's your first day in business, you've got your website up and you're ready to rock and roll, you've got all the equipment that you need. I would argue that you would be far better off going out into your community to local businesses and storefronts, or even honestly residential communities and houses, and knocking 300 doors today before the sun goes down, offering your services on the spot, than you would sitting around for the entire day, strategizing about what the best approach is for you to go out there and get clients. Because you have no information to go off of. You have zero expertise. Hell, you don't even know how to necessarily deliver the service well or efficiently and effectively. As opposed to if you just went out there, knocked enough doors, learned how many no's it takes you to get to a yes, learned how much money you made and what your profit margins are, and then learned how to actually clean the windows, do the thing that you're trying to sell. If you just went out there and did that, you would return home, and the next day, I mean, ideally, probably the next day you should still be going out and doing the same thing. But let's say you got 20 out of every 100 said yes, and you actually ended up doing a lot of work that day. Hell, if you knocked 300 doors, that'd be probably a shitload of work if you're cleaning windows. I don't know how much work goes into that. But let's just say you did that. If you spent the entire next day now strategizing, you'd actually have some information in your head to strategize predicated upon. You'd be able to say, well, when I went to the communities over on the south end of the area that I live versus the north end, I got a lot more yeses. And maybe the south end is where the more affluent neighborhoods are, or where people tend to just have higher incomes per household. And so you all of a sudden can start strategizing on how you're going about targeting certain neighborhoods in certain areas and among certain demographics that just have disposable income to have you clean their windows. Or same goes with the businesses. Maybe certain shopping plazas and certain shopping centers were more apt to say yes, or less likely to try and haggle you for a lower price. They were just blindly throwing money at you, and you could incrementally increase your pricing. Maybe that could be a strategy. Like, wow, when we're in these areas, they didn't bat an eye at our pricing. In fact, we were almost getting 25% close rates on these people. Like, maybe we should increase the pricing over here, but that might not work over in the other area. That's strategizing, and that's strategizing with actual information. It's worth your time to do it once you know what the fuck you're trying to strategize. Once you start learning how the pieces move on the chessboard, like the example that I used, then you can start thinking about your opening, you know, how you're going to set your pieces up, set certain plays up, try and trap your opponent in certain areas. As I said, the path illuminates as you walk it. And I think that so many young business owners, young guys just trying to make something of themselves, achieve something, get caught up in that cycle of trying to pre-optimize, pre-strategize with no information, no intel. And yeah, you can get a lot of intel and you can get a lot of information from the internet. You know, you can go and you can Google or ask ChatGPT baseline statistics for your region and charging for this and charging for that. Or you can watch some YouTube videos. I watched a plethora of YouTube videos when I was starting my first agency 7 years ago. But that information is only going to ever get you so far. Rather, if you just do things with speed, go out and take action and put it into practice, I promise you, it will pay off in spades for you. And ensure that as you are learning and as you are starting to become more strategic in the way that you are deploying your assets, deploying the capital that you manage to acquire, deploying your time, energy, focus, etc., that you are maintaining that prioritization of speed. You see, now, let's say you have all the information that you need. You have, let's say, 3 months of experience under your belt going out knocking those doors. And you know what works and what doesn't, at least to an extent. And you've gotten proficient and effective at delivering the service well. Now, when you sit down at the drawing board and you start trying to think about it from a more strategic standpoint, you need to strategize with haste, with speed. And what enables you to formulate a strategy with far more speed? The answer is almost always more information. More information that actually applies to the thing that you were trying to strategize about. You can just move with so much more speed, which is why, again, at the start, you just need to start with going out and doing the thing. Get the intel, bring it back, and then sit your ass in the war room at the fucking strategy table, whatever you want to call it, and now you can start strategizing with speed. I hope this video was of some help to someone out there who's maybe dragging their feet on a new venture or a new aspiration. Like I said, same goes with stuff like your fitness, going to the gym, things like that. If you want to be able to create a workout regimen that's tailored to you and tailored to your goals, the best way to do that is get your ass in a gym. Or maybe you want to get into some kind of fighting. You want to do some boxing or some Muay Thai or whatever it is, just go into one of the gyms and sign up for a membership. And start getting around people that know more than you do. Consume information, like I said, from YouTube, from the internet. And just go in and put it into practice and learn what works best for you. Like, my training strategy has adapted immensely over the, 9-10 years that I've been lifting weights consistently. But, I learned through putting it into practice, collecting that intel, and then bringing it back to the drawing board and actually making informed strategic decisions, interchanging certain things, seeing what works and what doesn't, and then putting that into practice and doing it all with speed, because speed is everything. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I will catch you all in the next video. God bless.